So when it comes to Kenyan groups in America, the Kenyan social circles, you have these groups that people have, women groups, different types of groups, mostly groups that are involved in fundraising. And some of them are community, organization type of groups. The problem with a lot of these groups is to be able to enter those groups, apart from the fact that you have to be a Kenyan, there is the fact that they vet people based on their immigration status and their income. And when it comes to immigration status, this is none of their business because this is a group. Apart from contributing money and gossiping, they should not have anything to do with people's personal immigration information, people's personal income. I mean, we all came to America on our own. So it's not like they could not afford majority of the Kenyans paid their own air tickets. Okay. So it's nobody's business, their income. But they use income and immigration status to vet people, and basically they're discriminatory and discriminate people. So that is one thing. The other thing is they use these fundraisers, especially in event of funerals. When it comes to funerals, they use funerals as an opportunity to gather information about people's personal information, people's information about their marriages, who is married to who, their siblings, their extended family, who is who. So they used funerals as an opportunity to gather people's personal information. And when it comes to this issue, Kenyans in America specifically need to learn to have boundaries, because not every concern is genuine concern. And people need to have boundaries, basically, when it comes to this particular issue, because you cannot be giving people all your information about your whole entire family and then complaining when people destroy your marriage, which probably was already on the rocks, when people come in and they are now exploiting you. They are ruining your reputation. They're ruining the reputation of your family members. You need to have boundaries. These Kenyan communities should not have all the information about you and your family. So Kenyans in diaspora need to learn to have boundaries. That's a very important thing. When it comes to the issue of checking in, because they check in a lot of people from these groups, there's the issue of fake concern and basically mockery. A lot of that check-in is not genuine. There is part of it that is genuine. There's part of it that involves these competitions they have going on amongst themselves and mocking people and tearing people down. So when they hear like you have a problem, they're going to make sure that nobody helps you. So they're going to completely ruin your reputation. And the reason is they want you completely to sink in your problems. And then there's the issue of competitions, especially they have women competitions. So this is very interesting because somebody told me once that people are competing with me. And I was like, we're competing for what? When are they going to inform me we're in competition? So this one is very interesting because I was also informed that, people are competing with you for, I don't know what we are competing for. So this was news to me. So, and the problem with these women competitions, you have people with mental health issues. It's one thing to tell somebody, oh, people are competing with you. It's another thing when you decide to look, okay, who is competing with me? You realize the person who is competing with you has depression, has mental health issues, is bipolar, is on psychiatric medication, like is suicidal. Like, what are we competing for here? Like, dude, how about you keep me out of these competitions? I don't want to be part of it. So this is another thing that Kenyans in diaspora need to realize. These competitions that they have, you're competing with somebody who is depressed. You're competing with somebody who is bipolar. You're competing with somebody with schizophrenia. You're competing with somebody who is an addict. Like, are you okay? What is your problem? So it goes back to the issue of boundaries. Kenyans need to have boundaries, and they need to remove themselves from these awkward situations that they're in, because it's weird. It's weird when you are now there that you have defeated, or you're making more money than somebody who can't go to work because they're depressed. Like, you're winning. What are you winning? What are you like? You look like there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. A lot of these men and women need psychiatric help. Some of them are taking psychiatric medication. They need therapy, psychology help. Psychologists need to help them. They need counselors, they need community, but the community needs to be a community that is healthy. So when these women are competing, they're competing with women who have postpartum depression. You're competing with women who pregnant women. You're competing with women who are in a very toxic, dangerous situations, marriages, relationship. They need to exit those relationships, and you're there. You're now all of you now are competing for. I'm not sure what they're competing for. And so the reality of this, it comes down to boundaries, respect, and having a healthy community. And a lot of these Kenyan groups, these are not healthy communities. These are not communities that are going to help somebody who is struggling with mental health issues. So when you're looking at these Kenyan communities, you need to realize that they like focusing on other people's problems while they have their own problems. They like looking at other people and gossiping about them. And some of them take pleasure in saying negative things about other Kenyans in diaspora. And the reality is everybody's paying, as long as people are paying their own bills and they're making their way in life, it's their business. It's their business. So they do target people. They do target women and men also, and they do demonize people. So there's the issue of demonizing of Kenyans in the Kenyan community. So this is another issue. It goes back to boundaries, and it goes back to a lot of these groups are not healthy for most people. They're not healthy for most people, and people need to learn how to have boundaries and have healthy relationships, because this is a thing. They're like, people need to be trained in the Kenyans in diaspora need to be trained how to have healthy relationships. Then there's the issue of isolating people. They are very critical of women, and they like isolating women. They like isolating women from their children. They are very good at encouraging women and men to send their children back to Kenya and then stay here in America to make money. That is normally the advice they like giving people. And the reality is they are separating the parents from their children. So they are very heavy with separating parents from their children. And they try to call it they try to phrase it like they're helping, but they are very specific about targeting children and women, families with children. And they like discouraging women from having children. So this is another thing. It's not direct, but they like discouraging Kenyan women from having children, even Kenyan men from having families. They are very good at discouraging people from doing that. So this is another thing people need to note, especially if you're a woman who wants to have children. When you're in these Kenyan groups, you need to understand they discourage women from having children. They discourage women from forming families. And I have no idea what else to say about that. But some of this, a lot of these networks, apart from the issue of fundraising, they are a lot of everything else about a lot of these groups is mostly negative. These are not groups myself I would recommend. Like I would recommend people to be in other groups, be in some of these international organizations, be in professional groups. Don't be 100% in these Kenyan groups. Also, there's another thing, they like using people. So they like using people for this community building, and they don't want people to benefit from it. So they want martyrs. So all I'm saying is boundaries. When it comes to Kenya communities in diaspora, boundaries, and as Kenyans need to have boundaries, they need to be careful, be aware that they're giving information to strangers. They need to basically focus on their life and avoid being in these networks whereby they're ruining people's reputations. And they need to stop utiaji. They call it uniwatiaji. Basically, if you're a Kenyan in diaspora, especially in the United States of America, be a member of professional organizations, of other groups. Kenya community should be part of the groups that you belong to. It should not be the main and the only group you belong to, because ni watiaji. Ni watiaji, they will ruin your reputation, they will ruin your life. They have ruined people's lives. They have ruined people's mentals. And stop competing with people who are mentally ill. Like, get it together. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.